cover. You want me to get a car, Sergeant? We get a car over here? Have a car.
All right, that's video from Volusia County, Florida, near Daytona Beach. Not Miami Beach. Daytona is supposed to be the safe place for spring break. What you were watching was deputies chasing down a 16-year-old. They say he was selling weed on the beach and obviously had a gun with him while he did it. Not just Daytona Beach. Miami Beach tried to cancel spring break. Well, hefty fines, big curfews, bag checks, restricted beach access, DUI checkpoints, $100 parking fees, non-resident towing fees of more than $500, and yet they still made hundreds of arrests. In Jacksonville Beach, a series of shootings like this one sent hundreds of teenagers running from the beach. A couple of people injured. One person was killed over the weekend. Evidently, there were 400 or 500 people who gathered under that pier for fighting. Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood joins us. Sheriff, it's good to see you. I asked it during the tease, and I'm not trying to be flip here when I say it, but how did we go from wet T-shirt contests during spring break when I was a kid to now gunfights?
Hey, I'll go back. It was eating at McDonald's pizza and get an older person to buy a quart of beer or a six-pack of beer, and here we are dealing dope on the beach, armed with a firearm. And even when law enforcement confronts you, you refuse to drop that firearm. And then when arrest is inevitable, you run into the ocean and hurl the weapon and your drug bag into the ocean. I have to use one of my deputies who's on the dive team to recover that.
Wow. You think about this, and obviously it happened in Jacksonville, with the number of people out there, the number of weapons drawn. We're lucky a lot of people didn't get shot.
Yeah, you know, God sometimes is on our side. And this is our first year as the sheriff's office patrolling the beach. We were on foot because of these big crowds that amass. And the directive was for the deputies to get into these crowds. And as they're walking into one of these big crowds, somebody hollers, he's got a gun, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. Everybody starts running. And that photo you know is him pointing that gun. And then he runs from us with everybody else in the area. Thank God he didn't shoot. Thank God we didn't shoot. And I'm glad we're having this conversation right now.
All right, so how do we come back from this? I'm going to play something for you. There was a Kansas City Chiefs player who was asked about generally violence in America, specifically the shooting that's kind of not very different than this that happened during the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl party. Here's what he had to say.
At the end of the day, this is degenerate violence, and it should not be occurring. I think we need strong fathers in the home. I think we need men that are leading, that are setting good examples, that are teaching the young men in our society that violence is not the way.
I guess the flip side of that is teaching people that violence is okay, or it's not their fault and they're allowed to commit violence. Is that what's going on here?
What's going on here is we have taken the criminal justice system and made it the pendulum shift so far left. There's no accountability for crimes like this. This young man had 7 outstanding warrants out of Orange County, Florida, and evaded arrest. And then his defiance, surrounded by deputies, not to get rid of that gun till the last second, is where we are now. And you know what? This isn't a video game. This is real life. Our state attorney bumped him up to an adult. He's going to adult court in Volusia County.
That's amazing. That number of outstanding warrants at 16 years old. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.